Breaking news, the Chicago Bears have finally acquired a quarterback in free agency, and his name is Nick Foles. What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. Here to talk about some NFL free agency. Listen, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, folks. I have been on fire with posting as much content as I possibly can to bring you guys what you need to know about NFL free agency. So go ahead and subscribe and make sure to follow me on my social media. Links down below for my Twitter, my Instagram, and on the screen as well. That's the best place to reach out, asking questions. I am literally live tweeting once the news breaks, so I'm giving you guys those as well. And of course, my reaction here. So with that being said, there's so much to get to. Let's get started. So I don't even know where to begin, but let's start by saying this, okay? Nick Foles was one of those options that we saw coming for the Chicago Bears. Really, the quarterback market had played itself out and kind of dried up, okay? After all of the quarterbacks kind of picked their positions and their slots, you know, Phillip Rivers to the Colts, Teddy Bridgewater to the Panthers, Tom Brady to the Bucks. There were only a handful of guys left. And who were those guys? Andy Dalton, Nick Foles. There was a possibility and rumors about Cam Newton after the Panthers obviously moved forward with Teddy Bridgewater. And I kept telling you guys, again, if you follow me on Twitter, people are asking Fives, who do you want? Who do you want? And here's the thing. Initially, when this whole free agency thing happened, I thought we could have gotten Case Keenum for cheap. But after all of the quarterbacks had, selected their places, I told you guys the best option was Nick Foles. Okay, the best option was Nick Foles because he is exactly what the Bears were looking for. Okay, let's remind everybody, what were the Bears looking for when the offseason began after this last season ended? They wanted to bring in competition for Mitch Trubisky, right? Okay, so they wanted to have somebody come in and challenge Mitch. Not necessarily replace Mitch right away. Now, Mitch Trubisky has another year to go before we have to decide on his fifth-year option. So we haven't gotten to that point. But basically, the message was the job isn't just going to be yours from the get-go. We're going to bring in some competition for you. And so you needed a guy that could push Mitch, but at the same time, if he comes in, he's not the straight-up replacement. Like, for example, if Tom Brady had come to the Bears, there's no competition. If Phillip Rivers, if even Teddy Bridgewater, which is funny enough, we were hearing reports that he didn't want to come to the Bears because he didn't want competition. But basically, the Bears wanted a guy to come in and bring some competition. But at the same time, if he doesn't win it, he can be a serviceable backup. Okay, that is why I had recommended Case Keenum. But obviously now, with the quarterbacks going, and Case Keenum ended up going to the Browns, obviously with the quarterbacks left, Nick Foles, to me, was by far the best option because Nick Foles can both be a starter and he can be a backup. We saw what happened last year with Nick Foles with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was just unfortunate with the injury. He was never able to get right, never get in rhythm. They handed it over to Gardner Minshew, and it was really Gardner Minshew's team. I know Nick Foles came back and he looked, not that great, but I just felt like the confidence, I just felt like the consistency, the momentum just wasn't there for Nick Foles, okay? So to me, I like this signing straight up off of just that because it meets that need that the Bears wanted because they can bring him in and you can have him compete for the starting job. He wins it outright. It's his job. If he doesn't win it, he's the backup, and he might be the greatest backup ever because we all know Nick Foles won a Super Bowl MVP, okay? Now let's talk about the trade itself because a lot of you guys want to know how the hell does this work with the money and everything. First of all, the Bears gave up a 4th-round pick for Nick Foles. Not happy about that, okay? A 4th-round pick does feel like a lot, but again, when you're making trades, free agency, sometimes you got to give more than you're willing to. I would have preferred the pick be a little lower. I had actually thought even that the Jaguars were so desperate they would have given us picks, but obviously that didn't end up happening. So we gave up a 4th. Not too happy about that, I'll be honest with you guys. But in terms of the money, everybody thinks that Nick Foles is due a boatload of money because he just signed a contract last season. And he is. But all that matters is guarantees. And he's owed about 3 years and about $50 to $55 million on his deal. But essentially, it's a 1-year, $15 million deal. with the potential of $5 million added to that in 2021 if he is still on the roster. Again, not going to look that far, but really that's the guarantee here. It's essentially a 1-year deal for $15 million plus, and then you can dump him. Okay, you can cut him and still get a chunk of cap space back. So it is not as long-term of an investment as folks think. Okay, because hear me out. Nick Foles is not the answer for the Bears. Okay, it's still not the franchise quarterback. Okay, the franchise quarterback that the Bears are looking for, you probably are going to find them in the draft. It's not going to happen in free agency because obviously we know all the top guys have signed, to their respective places. And so you are never going to get that. But what Nick Foles does provide for you is he will bring competition for Mitch. So now Mitch is going to have to really step up his game and make sure that, he can keep Nick Foles at bay and not lose the starting job. And it gives you clarity. Now you can make a decision on Mitch Trubisky. He loses the starting job. I mean, his time is pretty much over. But if he keeps the starting job, he has to maintain it because you know what happens, folks. The most popular guy on an NFL team is the backup quarterback when the starting quarterback begins to not play well. And there will be every time Mitch Trubisky has a bad game or an interception or a bad play. I mean, the cheers for Nick Foles are going to be through the roof. We know he's a capable backup. He's a proven guy. So it's going to happen, okay? And so this is exactly what the Bears wanted. So overall, my thoughts are, I like it. Solid signing. 4th round pick is a little too much, but there's no long-term investment here. You have him for a year, $15 million plus. You can cut him if it doesn't work out, and gives you clarity on Mitch Trubisky. So there you have it, folks. My full thoughts on Nick Foles coming to the Chicago Bears. Let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about Nick Foles? I'm telling you, I wanted Nick Foles over Andy Dalton or Cam Newton, so I'll take it. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe as always. Thanks for watching.